Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to me tier ranking every single fantasy book that I've ever read. I've already posted a video of me ranking every fantasy series I've ever read, but I've been really wanting to tier rank every fantasy book that I've ever read. It included only series that I have finished or read most of the books out of the series, so I can like actually get a feel out of where they stand, you know? There are so many books that I have read. I've only read the first or second book in the series. It might be a standalone, but there are some series that I just grouped together because I feel the same collectively about them, so like all of the books would belong in about the same section. There are a few series in there where there are some books that I liked more than others, so I will be tier ranking those separately. I don't know if that makes sense, but you guys will get it as we go along. It's not confusing whatsoever. I have this tier on my iPad right here and I will be going through each individual tier. Okay, so we have 7 tiers here, which may seem incredibly excessive. For the top tier, we have Inject Into My Veins. These are my 6-star books and there are so few of them. One will probably be the least used here. Then we have Holding Space. This is probably like a 4.5 to a 5-star. This is a book that I absolutely love. Holding space for it and I absolutely adore it. We have It Was a Fun Time. Okay, this is probably going to be like romanticies, maybe some YA in there. Just a fun time, nothing to really write home about. It was good. I mean, anything between like a 3.5 and like a 4.5 could probably go in there, to be honest. This one isn't really confined to a specific rating. I'm only stating the rating that belongs in them, because there are a few that the rating definitely does matter. One, it honestly doesn't. As long as it's above a 3-star and below like a 4.5, let's say, it was a fun time. Anything could go in there. And then we have Good, but I'm waiting for you to be great. Average, like 4-star, okay? Again, it was good. I'm just waiting for it to be great. And then we have Literally Can't Remember. There are a few books that go in this category. There's not many. We have, in all caps, Bored. The last one is I Will Never Get This Time Back. This is one that very few books fall into, but the books that do fall into it, I hate them. 1 to 2 stars, okay? Anything below a 3-star, I do not recommend. Okay, now we have gone over each individual tier and it is time to rank every single one of these books. We have quite a lot of books to go over, okay? That's enough yapping and it's time to get ranking. So starting off, we obviously have ACOTAR. This groups the entire series together. So ACOTAR was the first fantasy book that I had read when I got back into reading. And so for that, it holds a very special place in my heart because I would not have literally any of these books if I hadn't read ACOTAR, I don't think, because it did start me off on my reading journey. So for that, I will be putting it in Holding Space. Now, it does not belong Inject Into My Veins. As I have read more books, I definitely know my taste, and although I still love ACOTAR, I just think it may not directly align with what I like now, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I feel like I like more plot-driven books, which they definitely got more plot-driven, but it was definitely just more of a romantasy. I don't know. I still absolutely love ACOTAR, okay? But it is definitely not a god tier for me. While we're on that topic, we have Throne of Glass. This includes this entire series because I simply could not tier rank every single one of those books. Okay, for one, there's what, 7 of them? And all of them would belong in like 2 categories. So with that being said, Throne of Glass is my favorite series of all time. And so for that, it is going into Inject Into My Veins. It will just always hold a special place in my heart for the same reason as ACOTAR, but Throne of Glass is just on a completely different level. We have the Crescent City series. So I have each individual book here. So for the first book in Crescent City, I feel like I'm gonna put it in good, but I'm waiting for you to be great because I read this right after I had finished Kingdom of Ash. Not right after, but like pretty soon after, because I was in a bit of a reading slump, and it was just such a stark difference from Throne of Glass that it was honestly a bit of an adjustment for me. I still think it is a great series, but it definitely is a lot different because it's an urban fantasy. The characters are written a lot differently, and I feel like her writing is a lot different in Crescent City. So for that, the first book, good, waiting for you to be great. Now for the second book, I feel like I want to put this in Holding Space. So we're gonna put it in Holding Space because I did like it better in the first book. It was a fun time, but I feel like it's too long of a book to put in the It Was a Fun Time. I don't know. The second book is definitely my favorite book in the series. And then for the third book, so this one was a bit of an interesting one. I enjoyed it when I first read it, but it was after I sat on it for a little bit was when I was like, maybe I didn't enjoy it as much as I did. because there was just so much information. Like, I don't know, I feel like I was just excited to read a new one of her books. I don't know, I feel like once that wore off, I was like, maybe not. Like, I'm gonna put this in good, waiting for you to be great. I feel like it belongs with the first book. Did like the third book more than the first book. I did not like the first book. I don't know why, but I just really did not like the ending of this book at all. I feel like it got wrapped up way too quickly. I feel like, I don't know, I didn't really like the ending of it at all. I liked the beginning of it and the middle of it. I feel like we got a lot of information. The ending I just did not like for some reason. So for that reason, we're putting it in good, waiting for you to be great, because I was disappointed with it. I feel like this category also goes with like disappointments a little bit. Now we have the Blood and Ash series. We have the first book from Blood and Ash, and I feel like I want to put this and It Was a Fun Time. Yeah, we're putting it in It Was a Fun Time. Each of these books individually, because you will see the polarization of each book, because it is a very inconsistent series, I will tell you that much. So then we have Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, I fear this is my favorite book in the series, and I don't know if I want to put it in Holding Space or Inject Into My Veins. I feel like I might want to put it Inject Into My Veins. Wait, I did not expect, I really thought I was gonna put that in Holding Space, but the more that I think about it, the more that is a 6-star book for me. I absolutely loved it. It is obviously my favorite in the series, but it also is just, it is just so good. I don't know why I loved it. The tension between the characters, enemies to lovers to enemies again, so good. It was so good. And then we have Crown of Gilded Bones. I hated this book, okay? Hated is kind of a strong word. I don't know if I want to put bored or literally can't remember, because I honestly can't remember what happened in the book, but I think I'm gonna put bored because she is thick. That book was way too long of a book to be as boring as it was. I honestly don't really remember what happened in it. It was just giving middle book, and I did not like it, okay? And then we have The War of Two Queens. Oh, where'd she go? Definitely can remember. Hey, can we go back? Thank you. So we have The War of Two Queens. This one is a bit hard for me, okay? Because I really loved the ending of it. The middle was where it kind of lost me, but I feel like we got a lot of information, and I feel like I honestly really liked this book. It was really hard for me to get through the middle. Like, I had to restart it so many times. I think I'm gonna say good, but waiting for you to be great. Hey, not and can't remember. Hey, not and can't remember. Okay, this one was just so hard to get through. The ending was incredible though. If the book was like how the ending was and the epicness, I guess you could say, of the ending, this would probably be either Holding Space or Inject Into My Veins, because it was actually incredible. Then we have Soul of Ash and Blood. Yeah, I hated this book. I think I was just pissed when I was reading it, because if you don't know, we're actually getting the next book in the series very, very soon. I think it comes out next week, actually. But this book obviously goes after War of Two Queens, okay? There is a huge cliffhanger at the end of the War of Two Queens, okay? The Soul of Blood and Ash is a retelling of the first book in the male character's point of view. Okay, I was excited for it, okay, until I saw that it was about 600 pages. 600 pages. I'm pretty sure it's longer than the first book. I might be wrong, it felt longer than the first book, but it is a complete retelling of the first book, which I did not mind, okay? If it wasn't for the fact that there was a huge cliffhanger at the end of the War of Two Queens, and we got 20 pages maybe in present day, because it kept going back and forth of like his point of view and then him like telling his point of view almost. And so it was just very frustrating, because it felt like you were going to get more from present day and then you didn't. And then next thing you know, the last like 30 pages, a bunch of stuff happens and you're like, what the hell? Like, I don't know, it just felt so messy to me and I did not like it. So I will never get this time back, but it is not below a 3-star. So that is a little confusing, but I genuinely feel like I will never get that time back, and it was so frustrating. But it wasn't like a bad book, so it's not like, I feel like it's not below a 3-star. Like, I feel like I can't rate any book in this series below a 3-star. I don't know, because I'm like attached to the characters. Anyways, moving on. Then we have Six of Crows, okay? It is only 6 Crows. I've not read Crooked Kingdom yet. Oh, I'm struggling between putting it in bored and literally can't remember. I'm gonna say bored. Okay, I read this during, actually don't remember. I read this for a reading vlog. I read this at the wrong time. I was not feeling it. I was in a reading slump and I was also just not feeling it. And I knew that I should have pressed pause. I really should have, and I didn't. I need to reread it because I feel like I would really like it, but at the time I was just so bored of it, but that could also just be the reading slump. Okay, and then we have The Cruel Prince. This includes the entire trilogy. Cruel Prince, Queen of Nothing, and something. I don't remember, but it's the trilogy. The series I completely binge read. And for that reason, we're putting it in It Was a Fun Time, because it honestly was. It was not at all like everyone like speaks like it's like this epic, like I don't even know, not an epic fantasy, but like people just talk like the FMC's like this big badass has like a bunch of aura or like whatever, and that was in fact not the case, but I still had a super fun time because I just love folklore and that is what this is. And so it was just a fun time. Then we have Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. I feel like both of these might go in the same category, question mark. But Divine Rivals belongs in It Was a Fun Time because it was a fun time. They had magic typewriters. It was in the middle of a war. Like okay, saying it was a fun time after saying it was in the middle of the war is really not good, but it was a war between like gods, kind of like the humans were fighting the gods' war. I don't know, but there was magic typewriters. Okay, it was really cute. It was a lot of fun. It was very romantic. Okay, Ruthless Vows I feel like might go in It Was a Fun Time, but I also kind of want to put it in Holding Space because I kind of really loved Ruthless Vows. No, I feel like it was just a fun time. When I think back on my time reading it, it was just a fun time. It was a really good duology. I really love duologies. You will see further down the line. Okay, and then this one might piss a lot of people off, but yeah, I'll never get that time back. I'll hold my hands up and say it was a me issue. They're not bad books. There's only like one book that I've read where I'm like, hey, this is a bad book. They're not bad books at all. I just didn't really care for them. Like I didn't care for the characters. I didn't care for the plot. Like it's interesting. The plot is interesting. And the whole like magic kind of hide and seek game that's kind of going on, that was a lot of fun, but I literally couldn't care less. Like honestly, I really couldn't care less. So I will never get this time back because I read the whole trilogy, and for what? And for what? Once Upon a Broken Heart. I feel like it was a fun time. I really liked Once Upon a Broken Heart. I read that before I read Caraval, which that's like a no-no, but I really don't think that impacted my reading for Caraval, which some of you may disagree because I didn't like Caraval, but I also just don't think I would have liked it regardless. But Once Upon a Broken Heart was super fun, very fairy tale-esque. It was just a really good trilogy, and it is one of the few trilogies where the second book is the best book, because if you've read your fair share of trilogies, you know that the middle book is always middle book syndrome. This one is probably one of the only ones where the middle book is not only really good, but it's also the best one in the series. Love it. Okay, and then we have Powerless. I have each of them individually. I don't have Powerful for some reason. I didn't include that on accident. Powerful, really loved that novella. And then I haven't read Fearful. Is that the one that just came out? I haven't read the most recent novella either, but I really liked Powerful. I just didn't include it for some reason. But we have Powerless. This one, okay, controversial take. We're putting it in Holding Space. I read this book when it first started getting really popular. I watched Sarah Caroli rate it a 5-star. Obviously, I feel like that's how it got a lot of its hype. Like I feel like a lot of its hype is credited towards Sarah Caroli. We read some quotes in her video that made me want to read it. And this was actually one of the, if not the first book that I actually annotated. Like I highlighted and wrote in the book. I really loved Powerless. Like I was reading a lot of like, I don't want to say intense fantasies, but like just more complex fantasies at the time, to where I read Powerless and it was just like a breath of fresh air almost. Like it was just a super fun time. So I did really like it, and it also is just nostalgic for me. I don't know, the first book is the best book. It is so good. Okay, and then we have Reckless. Remember what I was talking about with trilogies, the middle book? I fear Reckless kind of fell into that, but I don't feel as strongly about it as some people do. I don't know if I want to put it in good, waiting for you to be great, or bored. I don't know which one I want to put it in. I'm gonna say bored. I feel pretty confident with bored. I feel like I liked it towards the end, but I feel like the beginning and middle of it I kind of just did not really like all too much, but I did really like the ending of it, but I definitely was bored for a decent majority of it. So we're just gonna put her on board. And then Fearless, I feel like it was the perfect end to the trilogy, except obviously there's another novella out, but this is like the main book in it. I do feel like it was the perfect end, and I did have a really great reading experience. I just don't really know where to put it because I don't think it's on the same level as Powerless for me. So I feel like I want to put it in It Was a Fun Time. Either It Was a Fun Time or Good But Waiting for You to Be Great. But I don't feel that way about it. I feel like it was like a great book. Don't think I'm holding space for it. Maybe It Was a Fun Time. Okay, we have a lot of series going on here. We have Fourth Wing. I'm gonna put it in holding space. It's just nostalgic for me. I just really loved Fourth Wing. Just loved the dragons and like the university setting. So good. I really loved the first book. And then we have Iron Flame. I feel like I wanna, I'm gonna put this in Good, Waiting for You to Be Great, because after my reread, I do like it a lot more. The first time I read it, but then before Onyx Storm came out, I did reread both Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I actually listened to the audiobooks of them. And Iron Flame, I feel like before my reread, I would have put it in bored because it definitely was boring in some parts. But I reread it. I feel like I did really like it. It's just not amazing, but it was like good. Like I liked it. Onyx Storm, on the other hand, I fear I'm gonna put this in bored. Yeah, we're gonna put her in bored. Again, giving middle book syndrome. It's the middle of a 5-book series. I think it's the 3rd book in a 5-book series. So it is the middle book, and I fear it was giving that. I feel like it had a lot of potential. I feel like the ending got wrapped up way too quickly, and it was like very confusing. I had to reread the last like 20 pages multiple times because I was like, pause, when did we get here? Like I just felt so confused. Really did like the adventure part of this book. But I do feel like there were a lot of parts that I was just bored because I do have a reading vlog with this when I literally rated it 5 stars, okay? I literally rated it 5 stars. But in the reading vlog, I literally was like, I don't know why I just can't get into it, blah, 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 blah. Babe, you're bored. Babe, you're bored. That was the issue. You couldn't get into it because you were bored. Moving on with Onyx Storm, and we are moving on to a better note, and that is the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. You guys already know what's up if you, again, watched me ranking my series, but I am ranking these separately because I do feel differently about each book. I feel great about each book, but there's one specific book in there, just one, that So we have Daughter of No Worlds. I feel like I want to put her in holding space. I'm gonna put her in holding space because I really liked the first book. Absolutely loved it. Second book, also putting in holding space. I feel like a lot of people didn't like the second book, and again, they were calling it middle book syndrome, okay? But I personally really liked the second book. For me, I felt like the books progressively got better, again, for me, like my reading experience with them. And I really liked the second book. I really liked how much information we were getting. We were kind of learning more about new characters, their backgrounds, and everything like that. Like, I loved the second book. The third book, okay? The third book, inject into my veins. Inject it all into my veins. That is one of my favorite books I have ever read. I love that book, and I actually really want to reread this series because they're all on Kindle Unlimited, so like, why not? I really loved Mother of Death and Dawn. If you have not read War of Lost Hearts, please go read it. It is so good. We have Dance of Thieves. This one's gonna be the first book to go into the literally can't remember category. When I read it, I really liked it, but I could not tell you a single thing that happened in that book. Like, I have amnesia when it comes to that book. There are like a few things here and there that I can remember, like a few like very specific plot points, but other than that, I literally can't remember anything about this duology. And this also includes Vow of Thieves. I can't remember anything about this duology. I don't. I know that I liked it. I, again, just don't really remember anything. Okay, and then we have Heartless Hunter. This also includes Rebel Witch. It's a duology. I put this, and It Was a Fun Time. I really loved this duology. Again, I really love duologies. It is about a witch and a witch hunter. Dare I say anymore. And we have the what is this called? The Crowns of Nyaxia series, okay? This includes Serpent and Wings of Night, Six Scorched Roses, Ashes and the Starcursed King, Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, and then Songbird and the Heart of Stone. I have not read the most recent release, The Fallen Desk something. I don't remember what it was, but it includes everything except the most recent release. So we have Serpent and the Wings of Night. I'm gonna put this, and it was a fun time. It was such a fun time. Six Scorched Roses. Holding Space. This is my favorite novella to date. It is my favorite book in the series, I think, to be honest. I feel like the romance in this book was done beautifully. If you've read any of Crowns of Nyaxia and you haven't read Six Scorched Roses, you are doing yourself a disservice. It is so good. Ashes and Starcursed King. So we're putting it in the disappointment section. Good, but waiting for you to be great, okay? I don't like miscommunication. The miscommunication was definitely understandable. It was valid, okay, with what happened at the end of the last book. But it was incredibly frustrating nonetheless. And I just feel like I didn't like the, I don't know, I just couldn't really grasp the politics that were thrown in there because there was none in the first book whatsoever. I don't know, I just didn't really like the second book all too much. Okay, this next book, I will give a disclaimer. I read this during a 24-hour reading vlog, okay? And as we are probably coming to the same conclusion, 24-hour reading vlogs are not good. Not good. I need to figure out a good way of doing them because I dislike the books that I read. 24-hour reading vlogs. Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, I fear, is no different. I had this on my shelf for quite a while, and so I was like, I need a book to listen to. It was available on, actually no, I think I used an Audible credit. I don't know. But I listened to the audiobook of this, and I really should just have not done that because I'll never get that time back. And I don't necessarily hate this book. It just definitely was not the book that I should have read at that time, and it is 100% my fault. It is not a bad book. I just did not like it that much, and I don't know. I know it's definitely a me problem because I know a bunch of people really like this book. I just personally, again, read it at the wrong time. I definitely should have taken a pause on it, and I just didn't. And then we have The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. I'm gonna put it in bored. I was so bored the entire book. I don't know why. I really felt like I was falling asleep the entire book, and then the ending happened and I just woke right back up. I was like, oh my god, what the hell just happened? Nothing happened this entire book, and then that just happened. But I just didn't really care for either of the characters, to be fair. I do like Azar. Azar was really cool, but I don't know, I just didn't really care. I did like the dog in it. The dog was an added plus. I think the dog was what kind of got me through it, and Azar. I did actually like Azar. I just don't think I felt a connection to Misha, is her name, I think. I don't know, but I was definitely just really bored when I was reading that book. Oh no. So we have Kingdom of the Wicked. Yeah. That is so unfortunate. Oh my god. This was the first audiobook that I had ever listened to. It was when Spotify came out with the audiobook hour thing. I decided to read Kingdom of the Wicked. I had it on my TBR. I've been wanting to read it, whatever. And I hated that audiobook so much. Okay, this is, I don't want to sound mean, okay, but the narrator made every single male character sound like Dracula. Yeah, so it just really put me off. I really should have just stopped. It was the first audiobook that I had read, so I was like, is this just how I feel about audiobooks? Is it a me problem? I did not listen to an audiobook for months after that. It was not a me problem, it was the audiobook. I just shouldn't have listened to it. I don't know. Then we have Throne of the Fallen. If you don't know, this is the adult version of these books. It is it's the other brothers, because I think they're all Princes of Sin. It's an adult book. It is not a young adult. And the Kingdom of the Wicked is the young adult. I think it's a quartet. I think there's 4 books in it. Anyways, Throne of the Fallen is, again, the other brothers. I don't know. I honestly don't understand it, but you can read it without reading the other series, I guess. I know people recommend reading the other series, but you can understand what's happening without reading, whatever. It was a fun time. I loved the vibes of this book. It kind of gave me what I wanted out of Caraval, but adult version, obviously. It was just so much fun. I loved this book. I liked the little kind of quests, I guess you could say, that they were going on. And then we have Renegades. Okay, this one is a bit, I'm gonna put Renegades in bored. it just was very young adult for me. I just was not feeling it. It definitely was something that I would have liked in like middle school, I think, but I don't know. It was like fun, but I just don't think I was in the right mood for it. I don't know, but I just think it's not my cup of tea. It just felt, again, really young, which could be fun. I was in a different mood, but I don't know, I just wasn't really in the mood for that, I guess. So I was just really bored the entire time, and I almost DNF'd it like multiple times. So I'm like, you can get through it. Like, it's not that deep. You can get through it. And we have One Dark Window. It was a fun time. This is my favorite duology to this date. It is a gothic fantasy where the magic system is a deck of cards. It is the fall time right now, and if you have not read One Dark Window, please go read it. It is so good. It is so good. This also includes One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. That's the duology in itself. Let me find The Night and the Moth. The Night and the Moth is also by Rachel Gillig, and I'm putting The Night and the Moth in holding space. I really loved this book. Again, it's by the same author. That's the reason why I just decided to do it right now. But again, gothic fantasy. It is about a knight and he's basically a part of like a religious cult. Let's just put it that way. Bartholomew is a gargoyle that follows them around, and that's like her companion. He was my favorite part of this entire book. I actually want to reread it in fall. I literally read it back in when did I read that? Like July, maybe? Did I read that in July or August? I don't know, but I literally want to reread it now that we are in fall, because it is the perfect fall book. Both the One Dark Window duology and The Night and the Moth, perfect fall reads. They're so good. Next, we have the Prison Healer trilogy. You've probably heard me talk about this trilogy multiple times. I do really love this trilogy. I think it might be my favorite, one of my favorite YA series. I love them so much, but I fear the first book is going in bored, okay? I did like this book, but I don't think it's at the level as Good But Waiting for You to Be Great, although it's still like a 4-star. We have Gilded Cage. This is the second book, obviously, and I'm gonna put it in Good But Waiting for You to Be Great. I think I feel pretty set on that, because the Prison Healer, there were some twists and turns in there, but when we get to Gilded Cage, that is when Lynette Noni really puts in her work and starts throwing the twists in mid-chapter, okay? That's when it really starts in Gilded Cage. I feel like it really kind of kicks it up a notch. It does start off a little bit slower, but I don't know, I really liked this book. We have The Blood Trader. This is obviously the end of the trilogy, and we're putting this in holding space. This book is a 5-star. I really love this book. Again, the twists are crazy. I feel like it was the perfect end to this trilogy. You read the first book and you were bored. I also was, and I rated the final book 5 stars. So this is your sign to continue the series if you haven't already, or if you've been like thinking about it. I don't know. It was just so freaking good. I just love the series. And then we have Quicksilver. This is probably the #1 book that I struggle with, I think. I honestly think this might be my #1 book that I struggle with. Did not feel a connection to our characters, to our male main character, to our female main character. I liked our side characters. That is who I liked. I liked all of our side characters. I just did not like our 2 main characters. I just didn't really feel a connection to the 2 till the end. Maybe, but I honestly haven't thought about them since I finished it. It wasn't like a bad book though, and I wasn't necessarily bored, so I can't put it in bored. Can't put it in literally can't remember, because I do remember parts of it, not all of it. And then I'll Never Get This Time Back. I feel like it's not as low as those books on I'll Never Get This Time Back. So I feel like it only belongs in Good But Waiting for You to Be Great, because it honestly wasn't that fun of a time. Like I enjoyed my time while reading it, but it wasn't necessarily fun. I don't know. Moving on, we have Red Rising. This includes every single book up to Lightbringer. Those are all the books that are out right now. So this is the entire series, okay? I don't know if I want to put this series in Inject Into My Veins or Holding Space. I feel like I have no choice but to put it Inject Into My Veins. This series is the craziest roller coaster I have ever been on, okay? For one, 10 out of 10 recommend the audiobooks. That is how I ingested the series. That is how I read the series, was the audiobooks. Kind of like buddy reading some of the time. Like I would have the book open while listening to the audiobook. I don't know. this series is so intense. There is so much going on. There is so much made up stuff in this series. Because it is a sci-fi, it is a high sci-fi, it is crazy. The most intense thing I've ever gone through. And it will rip your heart out. Like, absolutely will rip your heart out. When I tell you, I think about these books and Darrow specifically on a daily basis. I get edits on my TikTok. The lines that Darrow has in these books go so crazy, especially the narrator. I feel like the narrator in the audiobook does the perfect job. This series is absolutely incredible. Okay, and then we have Lightlark and Nightbane. So obviously Sky Shade is out. I have not yet read that, and then I think the next book is announced. I don't remember, but I've only read Lightlark and Nightbane. I'm unsure as to if I'm continuing the series. Okay, but starting off with Lightlark, I'm gonna put it in it was a fun time because it honestly lived up to the hype. Sorry, a lot of people after it got a lot of hype said that they didn't really like it and like it was like fine or whatever. I feel like it did. It's not a 5-star at all. It was really, really good. It's just exactly what I expected. The rulers of each kingdom completing trials to save this island that holds the magic of their different realms. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was very, very interesting. As for Nightbane, this book irritated me so much, but I don't know where to put this, okay? Because it's not as low as to I Will Never Get This Time Back, okay? It's sitting at like a 3-star, I fear. Literally can't remember. Definitely does not go in there. Good, Waiting for You to Be Great. It's not there either because I didn't enjoy it that much. So I fear it has to go in Bored. I don't know, that feels really wrong. I feel like it would be like a step below Waiting to Be Great, but like I feel like it has to go in Bored because it just irritated me to no degree. Love triangles, if done correctly, so good. When it's a love triangle, you have to like the other person. You have to like the two people, okay? It can't be Conrad versus Jeremiah. And this book was given Conrad versus Jeremiah. There is no competition. Anyways, next we have The Poppy War and The Dragon Republic. I have yet to read Burning God. I've been putting that off. Okay, I have, because I am terrified. Poppy War, I fear we're gonna put her in holding space. Yeah, I feel good about putting Poppy War in holding space because it definitely was not a fun time, okay? It is not a fun time reading these books. It is actually so gut-wrenching are these books in the best way possible. But first of all, chapter, what is it, 22? Is it? You know what chapter I'm talking about. Knowing that these books reflect real things that have happened, I actually sobbed about it for like an hour and a half after I found out that these are based on true events. It's obviously a fantasy spin on things, obviously, but like this shit happened. Like, it did happen. First book is actually so freaking good. So when I got into the second book, I was expecting more because the second book is a lot of people's favorite, which I personally do not feel that way. I don't know why. I keep saying this, but it could be a me problem. Like, it has to be a me problem if it's everyone else's favorite. But I was just expecting so much more because of the hype that this book had. I was just expecting a lot more than I got. Like, I was expecting the ending to be a lot more insane than the ending of the first book, and I didn't know how anything could beat the ending of the first book. And it didn't. Like, I was expecting it to be more, and it wasn't. So for that reason, not for the ending, this is not for the ending, but for the reason of everything that I just said, I'm gonna put this in Good But Waiting for You. Oh, nope. It was definitely not a fun time. Good But Waiting for You to Be Great, because it was really, really good, but again, I was just expecting more. I think my expectations were a little high, but I also think that the ride or die fans of Poppy War are so ride or die, which respect it 100%. But again, I was just expecting to kind of be on the same level, and I'm just not, which is like fine. Totally fine. Definitely really like the series still though, and I am terrified to get into Burning God. I'm so scared. But on a lighter note, we have An Ember in the Ashes. This includes the entire quartet. Okay, where are they? My little collection down here. That includes all 4 of the books. Okay, I am grouping them all together into one because I feel the same about every single book in this series. Now, granted, I do have books that I like more than others. Like, for example, the second book is my personal favorite book in the series for some reason. That's not normal. I know that's not normal, but I really, really connected with the second book for some reason. Overall, the series as a whole, we're on the same page with every single one. And that is inject this bitch into my veins, okay? I am ride or die for this series, okay? And if you don't like it, don't kill me, okay? It is just my personal preference. I really, really love this series. I feel like it is so underhyped. So underhyped. I feel like it's underhyped because there is like little to no romance in there, okay? It is a sub plot is the romance, okay? But the little bits of romance that we get between Laya and Elias, it is my favorite type of fantasy book when the plot is the main focus and like the characters are also the main focus, and then the romance between the characters are like the side focus, because it just makes it that much more sweet. Ember in the Ashes, so underrated. It is actually criminal. Getting towards the end, guys. We are, okay? Should I rapid fire some? Because I feel like I've been talking a lot. Curse of Saints, I actually read this in a 24-hour reading vlog. I read this in one go. I was listening to the audiobook while I was like baking, and I did not stop listening to the audiobook. For that reason, it was a fun time. I just had a fantastic time while reading this book. It had been on my shelf for like a year and a half, I think, and I just hadn't picked it up. And so when I finally picked it up and was like, wow, I really enjoy this, I was having a fantastic time. And then we have Curse of Sins. Bored. This is the second book in the series, and the third one actually recently came out. I forgot what it's called. I was so bored. The pacing felt so off and so different compared to the first book. I don't know. I just didn't really love the second book. I feel like it's sitting at like a 3-star, maybe. A very baseline read. It was just mid. I guess that's the best way to put it. I was just so bored. Yeah, and that's that. When the Moon Hatch. Wow, we are just, the next few books are just not looking too hot for me. When the Moon Hatch. So this one is also a bit of a doozy because I fear I don't really remember too much. I remember certain parts, okay? This book should have been split into 2 books. I am dead set on that, okay? I remember most parts. I was bored for a decent amount of it, but like not really. But like, I also feel like I like enjoyed my time while reading it. I feel very complex about this book. So we're just gonna put it in good but waiting for you to be great. The literally can't remember, I feel like maybe should not be a category, because why do I have nothing in there? Next we have Bridge Kingdom and Traitor Queen. I feel like these are gonna go in the same category. This is a part of a duology series by Danielle Jensen. Both of these are just gonna go in I'm bored. I was so bored when reading this book. The scenery of these books had so much potential. The setting is absolutely perfect, but my god, were the characters boring. I was so bored. I just feel like there was no depth to any character or anything. Like the politics in the setting, perfect setup. The characters I could not care less about in either of these books, honestly. Then we have A Faintington Blood. This is the Fated something. I don't know. This is also a duology. A Faintington Blood, I feel like I'm gonna put in It Was a Fun Time. It's a Norse mythology inspired fantasy. It was my first Norse inspired fantasy, and it opened up my eyes to a new genre that I didn't even, I mean, I knew it existed, but like I didn't even branch out to before. And so for that, I am grateful. And I did have a super fun time when reading this. Really, really liked our 2 main characters. So confusing because this is written by Danielle Jensen as well. And so I liked the characters in this duology, but I didn't like the characters in the other, I don't know, a little confusing. But then we have A Curse Carved in Bone. Do I put this in holding space? I'm gonna put that in holding space. I really enjoyed that book, and I've seen a lot of bad reviews about it for some reason. I don't know if I just read it at the right time or what, but I had a fantastic time while reading this book. It was so good. There were a few plot twists thrown in there that were beautifully thrown in there. Like I was not expecting them. I really loved that book a lot. And then we have Spark of the Everflame. I think Spark is going to go in It Was a Fun Time. Can she go in there? Okay, cool. Spark, I don't like that. Spark was It Was a Fun Time. Glow, bored. I was so bored in Glow of the Everflame. It got better towards the end, 100%, as most books do, but our female main character was so insufferable in this book. Could not stand her whatsoever. And then we have Heat of the Everflame. This book is about 1,000 pages long. Yeah, about 1,000 pages long. And remember how I put Glow down a few tiers? Heat of the Everflame, inject that bitch into my veins. I loved this book so much. I ate up every single page of this 1,000-page book, and I could have read more. It was just so good. I really loved the magic. I loved the different lands that we explored. I liked our different characters. Per usual, the side characters in these books are so good. I am in fact waiting for Burn of the Everflame, as everybody else who has read this series. Burn has been delayed multiple times for the past 2 years, I think. You remember how I said that there was like only like a couple books, or like one book that like I actually hated and I feel like was just like a bad book? That is What Lies Beyond the Veil, okay? You can't see the full title because they're squares for some reason. What Lies Beyond the Veil is I Will Never Get This Time Back, okay? The only reason why I finished this book is because it became a hate read. I have never done that. To this day, after this book, I still have not done that. I really hated it. The reason why I continued it is because of how crazy some of it was, that I was like, I have to see this through. Like, I've already been through so much, I have to see this through. That's the only reason why I finished it. This is the only 1-star book that I have. So Metal Slinger, I'm sure you've heard about. It's actually getting traditionally published because Emmy on BookTube gave it so much hype basically, and now it's getting traditionally published, which is actually insane. This book is a romantasy that has an insane plot twist at the end, and for that, it was a fun time. This book was exactly what I said. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed every single part of it. There was not a single part at all that I disliked. I just didn't get like a 5-star feeling while reading it, but I did really like literally everything about this book, and I cannot wait for the next book to come out. We have Of Blood and Ether. Again, you can't see the titles. I am so sorry, but it's called Of Blood and Ether. It's AETHER, I think. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and it is a college setting. I fear this is going into Holding Space. And we have City of Gods and Monsters. This includes City of Lies and Legends and Souls and Sinners. I think that's the name. It includes the first 3 books in this series. I've not yet read the 4th one, but this one's gonna go, and it was a fun time. Oh. Every single one of the books belong in that category. That's why only the first book is on there, but every single one of those books belong, and it was a fun time. They are a little long and dragged on at parts, and definitely are some parts that I just dread, but the reason why I'm continuing this series is because they are fun. They are fun reads. We were done with books that I didn't like, but I fear I see 2 of them. So we're just gonna rapid fire these 2. We have Half a Soul. This is Half a Soul by JLA. I wish you could see what the title was. That kind of sucks, but this includes the first 4 books in the series. So Half a Soul something, I don't know. It's 4 books. They're all free on Audible with the subscription. And when I was commuting to college, I pretty much only listened to audiobooks when I was driving, going to school, whatever. And so at the time, I had no Audible credits. I had no Spotify hours. I didn't have Libby at the time. So my only options were ones that came for free on Audible. I liked the first book, and then it just went downhill from there. It really just went downhill. I should have just stopped listening to the audiobooks after the second book, let's say, but I just needed audiobooks to listen to when I was going to school, and they were all relatively short. I think they were like 9 or 10 hours. I do heavily dislike the series. Again, it is my fault. I definitely should have stopped listening to the series, but it definitely was a waste of time. So that is going, and I will never get this time back. And then while we're talking about books that I just did not like, let's just go straight into Silver Elite, okay? I'll never get this time back. Really dislike that book. I had so much hope for it, and it just let me down. It really did. It put me in a romantasy reading slump. It was not good. And then this is the cover of the 3rd book in Emily Wilde's, The Compendium of Lost Tales, but this includes the entire series. This is just my favorite cover for every single book in the series. So Emily Wilde's is a trilogy, and it is a cozy fantasy, and it has a special place in my heart. I absolutely love this series so much, and we are putting this injected to my veins. Don't know what happened between book 1 and book 3 that made me fall in love with it, but I absolutely fell in love with this world and these characters. I just love these books so much, so inject it into my veins. It is a 6-star series for me. I absolutely love it. We have Mistborn, The Final Empire. This is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy. I haven't read the rest of them. I really need to, but I recently read Mistborn. I read it last month, so we're still good, but I definitely do need to read the rest of the series. But the first book, Holding Space, I loved the first book. I feel like the magic system is so unique, and it is the start of my Brandon Sanderson journey, so I feel like I have to hold space for it. And then we have Heavenly Bodies. This got me out of my romantasy reading slump, okay? After I read Silver Elite, did not pick up another romantasy for weeks. And then I picked up Heavenly Bodies. Yeah, it is going in to inject it into my veins. I loved this book. It completely restored my faith in romantasy. If you have not yet read it, please read it. The second book comes out in November. It comes out really soon. I'm literally so excited for the second book to come out. It is so good. Oh my god. If you want yearning, Heavenly Bodies is for you. It is so good. Okay, and then we have the first 3 books in the Mortal Instrument series. Recommended reading order from Cassandra Clare herself is to read the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments, go into the Infernal Devices trilogy, and read the last 3 in the Mortal Instruments. And so that is what I'm currently doing. I've yet to pick up the Infernal Devices yet. City of Bones, and I feel like I'm gonna put it in good but waiting for it to be great. City of Ashes. This is the one that I struggle with because it is actually my favorite in the series so far. I'm gonna say it was a fun time because I don't think it belongs in holding space. Like, I don't feel like I was that attached to the characters, but I definitely did like City of Ashes the most out of any 3. And then City of Glass, I'm also gonna put in it was a fun time. We have The Shadow of the Gods. This one is really confusing for me. It's not at holding space level. It wasn't necessarily a fun time because there was a lot of plot building happening. I feel like it has to go in good but waiting for you to be great because I know that the series as a whole will be great. This was just the first book. It was the start of it. And then we have Legendborn. I want to put it in bored or good but waiting for you to be great. I think we're gonna put Legendborn in good but waiting for you to be great because it was good, but I'm waiting for it to be great. Can you guys tell that I've been talking for almost 2 hours? Can you? I'm running out of things to say. Legendborn, I liked it, but I definitely was expecting to like it a lot more. And then we have Half a Soul and 10,000 Stitches. These are both incredibly short books. They are like cozy fairy tale Regency fantasies. Yep, that's what they are. Both of them are around like 200 pages, and they were both a fun time. They were both very much a fun time. I definitely recommend if you just want an easy, cozy read. Anyways, we are on the last 2 books. We have Fireborn and Shield of Sparrows. They are very polarizing. Okay, first let's start off with Fireborn. I really did not like that book. Did not like that book at all. Read that during a 24-hour reading vlog once again. Did not like it. No ma'am. And then we have Shield of Sparrows. So I recently read this book, like a couple weeks ago maybe, and I feel like, so for one, this is a 5-star. This book is a 5-star. I really, really love this book, but I don't think it is at 6-star level. So for that reason, I feel like I have to put it in holding space and not inject it into my veins because I just don't think it's at that level yet. Maybe the more I sit on it, it will, but for now, it is at holding space. I really, really love that book. It is such a good romantasy. Such a good romantasy. Also, Kindle Unlimited. But this is the final tier ranking of every single fantasy book that I have ever read. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your opinions on anything that I ranked. Again, this is just my opinion, so be respectful, please, because I am very sensitive. Reading is subjective, as always. I say that literally all the time, but it 100% is. I am not dogging on any one of these books. Let me know if there are any other tier rankings you want me to do, because this was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you stayed till the end, I love you. Thank you so much, because I don't even know how I'm gonna edit this because of how much talking I did. So if you stayed till the end, you're a trooper. Honestly, you deserve a gold star, 100%. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.